All right, Pat Lang.
All right, here we are.
Here we are.
Once again.
Episode 2.
Let's do it.
Let's make it happen.
So what do you think about episode 1?
I thought it was awesome. I thought it turned out better than I ever imagined. And I've listened to it and watched it like 20 times. And it gets better every time.
So, Lee, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, there's so much to talk about. I think today we talk about maybe 10 things we wish we knew about before we started our most recent startups.
Okay.
And then maybe something else on the consulting or job hunting and keeping things afloat
Okay.
while we do all that.
Okay, I think we're up for that. We have 4 hours of recording time, so I guess we can get a lot in.
Well, we got to limit the editing because it's
For
easy
sure.
to set the stage up and everything took, 40 minutes? And then the content creation's easy. The editing is the hard part.
The editing is the hard part, but if we have customers that come here and rent the studio, we do all that for them.
Very cool.
We have Blackmagic switcher, so there's a video switcher back there that's switching the cameras. So you can have up to 8 cameras switching. And we have a Rode Podcaster 2. That's an amazing machine, and that's handling all the audio. The cool thing is that it's recording audio onto the SD cards for the cameras to sync with the cameras, and it's also recording the independent audio. It's going to be a little higher quality on the independent side, and that's how we just get this beautiful sounding audio, and we just merge it all together.
Ultimately, what we're doing is practicing what we preach.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
when I talk to clients and companies, I'm like, yeah, you should have your own podcast. So,
Yeah.
hey, let's have our own podcast.
Yeah,
you have a podcast studio.
People
Let's
have
use it.
been reaching out to me. Yeah, so this is great. I mean, that's what we want. It's available during the day, and we're coming in on Fridays usually around 2 o'clock. And just sitting here, an hour setup, and we're sitting here for just an hour, and we're making all this good content that we can make teasers from, put on our social media, and also then put on YouTube. And then once it's on YouTube, it's just a marketing piece that just lives forever.
Yeah, and like we were talking about, I think every brand should have a podcast, but it could be external for customers, but it could also be internal if you're a really big company, right?
That's a good point. And we've worked with a lot of marketers already, and that's been exciting. And we've also been working with some influencers too. So whether you want to do, whether you're an entrepreneur and want to do marketing or on a marketing team, and there's a marketing twist, or you're an influencer, this is the place to be. You're going to be an influencer. Which one are you? You're entrepreneur, marketer, influencer.
I'm multi-dimensional, I'm told. I didn't think I was an influencer, but now I guess I'm part of the Military Influencer Conference.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
I guess I'm a military veteran startup influencer.
Of course you are.
I'm not sure wherever else I influence, but I like to make a positive influence wherever I can.
When people ask you, what is your job title? Aside from CEO, that's the easy way out. What do you say?
I typically say I'm a dad.
Right.
And then I say I'm a marketer.
Okay.
So, and then if you want to get technical, I'm a fractional CMO.
Okay.
That basically
Gotcha.
creates strategies and plans, but can also help execute them and put them into action.
Gotcha. It depends on who I'm talking to. If it's someone, it just really changes a little bit. I always say I'm a co-founder, just to give respect to my other co-founder. And then I say that I'm a product manager with a UX background. So therefore, they know that I'm coming through this with UX, and with that UX background, it's like UX strategy, UX design, UX research, but all in the purpose of launching products and creating products and managing products.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if you were to ask me that again, I would say I'm a father and a founder and a fractional CMO.
I think you're trying to get me to this fractional game.
I'm telling you, fractional is where it's at. Because if you
Okay.
do something full time, it's really hard to build your business.
Did I tell you my undergrad degree is in instructional technology?
Not today.
I kind of geek out on that too, being able to go in an organization and kind of identifying some gaps in processes or procedures and operations, and then using training as a tool to kind of bridge those gaps. So it's just
I need to introduce you to a friend of mine, Mel Lim, who is building like a metaverse for shopping, but also for learning.
Oh, okay.
And for learning management systems.
Okay, I do geek out on learning.
You would geek out on this big time. It's amazing.
Yeah, because sometimes design is not so cerebral. It can be, it is, but then when I want to really kind of geek out, I think the learning kind of fires off another cylinder in my brain, and I get excited about that. Okay, so let me ask you, what are 10 things that you would have done differently?
For Pixley?
For Pixley.
Only 10? What would I have done differently? I would have started sooner, for sure. I would have raised more capital earlier. I would have done more due diligence on technology partners and developers before selecting our first one. But that's 3. Gosh. Yeah, mainly go out to market sooner, faster, build faster, start showing the product even earlier than you want. Like as entrepreneurs and founders, like we're so proud of it. We don't want to show anybody until it's like perfect. Forget that noise. Show it out there broken, and if it's written on the back of a napkin, that's better. The earlier the better. So I'd say those things primarily. Capital, going to market sooner, getting partnerships sooner, building a team sooner, getting the right people on the team, the right people on the right bus, on the right seats on the right bus. I think I can think of a few more. Really, one thing is to watch out and avoid predatory. There's people out there that are predatory of startups, especially if they want to help you raise money. On several occasions, I've had people come to me and say, "Hey, we can help you raise money, and we've done this amount of money, and this, that, and the other," and then they want $5,000 to $10,000 a month for 6 months, and then they want a piece of it. That's happened to me a few times, and one time I almost went for it, and I did my due diligence, and I called on this person's references who said, and 3 of them said, yeah, they sent out 1 email blast and that was it. Do not do it. And this guy had these people on his website as reviews and testimonials. So watch out for those guys. Don't waste time raising capital unless you're sure you check all the boxes. There's a lot of analysts that just want to do research and fill their top of funnel that'll waste your time. So just make sure if you're talking to a fund or an analyst that they have money to, they're prepared to write a check. When was their last check they wrote? What are the requirements? What are their minimums? Check all the boxes before you spend hours preparing for a presentation and all the follow-up. Because time is like your most important thing. You have to be like militant with your time because it's so limited. And then, gosh, I'd say, make sure that you carve out time for yourself, for your mental health and physical health, and for your family. Super important.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I'm going to try to name 10 things that I would have done differently. I would have started marketing earlier. I would have hired a social media manager earlier because social media is so important. Stories, reels, it's so time consuming if you're not into it, and hiring someone else to do it would have been my top thing that I would have done. I would have built landing pages sooner and started collecting emails, building my credit worthiness for the company sooner. What I mean by that is that I would have started getting more trade lines on my business credit report so that I would increase my business credit score and credit worthiness. I would have created the MVP and got it into as many people's hands as soon as possible. Honestly, I wish I would have just created more swag. I love these hats.
Yeah, your swag game is on like par. Like I am so stoked on the hats you got me. You have no idea.
Oh yeah, man, those hats
like,
are baller.
I'm like, wow, I'm a real business now.
You got baller hats. Yeah. That's all it takes.
If I just got the hat sooner.
Yeah. It's amazing what it'll do for you. I think I would have just taken more time off for my family overall. I feel like definitely it's never ending, so you might as well just take a break. You're going to be working 24/7 and just going, but you're going to miss out on something important, and it's not going to feel good, and the kids are just going to keep growing and all that stuff. So I would have just taken more time off for my family and just been there and listened.
Yeah.
When my daughter comes in the room and says something, I should have just pencils down, drop everything, put the mouse down and just listen. So I kind of regret that, but that's definitely something that I would have done.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. So whenever my daughter walks by and she goes, "Daddy, working," like I try and stop and just give her all the attention I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I wish I would have got an office sooner. I do have an office now. I wish I would have had that sooner. I had a parent living with me, so that was kind of hard. But now that they moved out, then I have the space. So just having a dedicated space where I could just work, that's not in the bedroom, that would have been key. I wish I'd have done that sooner.
Would the garage have helped?
It's too cold.
Yeah, well, I've been in the garage for 4 years. I mean, I love the idea of an office. I just want to keep costs down.
Right,
right. I mean, what do you pay for your office space in Carlsbad?
No. Well, that office space in Carlsbad is amazing because that's kind of like the virtual office space. So that's with Regis. And so
Okay.
if you need office space, that's where you go. You go to Regis, you get office space. You can get all your packages sent there. You can totally look like a baller. You can have meetings there. You can rent the conference room. I've had amazing meetings there. They provide coffee, water, snacks. You go into this nice big building. They're all over They're all over all over the world, really.
And you can go there every day.
I can go there every day if I wanted
And
to.
how much do you pay for that?
$69.
$69 a month?
Yeah,
I could do $69 a
of
month.
course you can. Everyone.
I spend more
Yeah.
than that on coffee.
Right. Well, that was, once we got the office space, the virtual office, I just say, it made us just feel more legit. We felt good. We had a Carlsbad address. We had, it wasn't a P.O. box. It wasn't like a virtual mail server. Like, I literally go there and pick up packages and talk to people. They have an area where you could work. It's like a lobby area where you could work if you want to. So you can post up there and just work there. And you don't have to pay all this expensive, co-working fees. Because if you want to come work here, I'm going to charge you a lot of money to come work here. I'm going to charge you a couple $100. Yeah, easily.
Okay.
I only have one or two desks for you to work at. So,
Noted.
well, you can come anytime.
Okay. I would like to come
In
up
fact,
once a month.
I've invited you. You should come here and so we can work together. Because and we'll talk about how lonely it can be also. Just
Oh
working
yeah,
by
that's like the
yourself.
top 10 thing. Like, you underestimate how lonely it can be and how long things might take from an idea to being it built to having it tested to monetizing it. But being alone is a big part, a hard part of the journey.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I think that's why we get along because, we're happy to get together. It's like exciting. And also there's someone else that understands your struggle, understands what you're going through. And even though, people may kind of get it, unless you're actually a startup founder bootstrapping your way with a job and family, I'd say I'd say it's really hard to relate to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then let me just think of anything else. Honestly, I would have started this studio. I don't know, I have mixed feelings about the studio. I've had it for 3 years now. It's just, it wasn't built out like this until just a few months ago. Until, January is finally built out. So what are my thoughts on that? I think that the studio was an amazing idea. I'm so thankful for it. I think that I could have built it out sooner and just kind of went for it. But I was being so cautious about it. So I wish I would have created the studio to what it is today sooner. I don't know if that's 10 or not, but between the two of us, that should be 10.
We could keep on going. I mean, I have a list. I didn't want to go back and reference it, but yeah, at least 10. I mean, surround yourself with as many founders as you can.
Yeah.
Whether it's Founders Institute or Connect or any of these other incubators, Evo Nexus, Techstars. I might have, if I were to do it all over again, I might have joined Techstars.
Wow, that's
or
such
applied.
a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, I'm so jealous of those people that join Y Combinator and their companies turn out to be amazing. I mean,
well, they only accept like a fraction of 1%.
right.
But
Such
those that go get the support in the ecosystem and everything else. So yeah, if you
Right.
can, if you're at that stage, yeah, you definitely should apply for those. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you have to go. I believe you have to go on site and
Yeah, there's no way I can go to San Francisco for
Yeah.
3 months with a 2-year-old daughter
right. So it's
or
just
a 1-year-old daughter.
yeah. So some of these incubators, so it just wasn't an option for me. I guess I did do Founders Institute though, and I think I have mixed feelings about it. Some positive and some neutral. I wasn't prepared for the kind of. I mean, it's just facts. I feel like they're trying to get to the. I know it's like a. I don't know it's like a piece of fruit, and you're trying to get to the sweetest part of it. And so that's how I think. That's
You're
just
hungry right now.
That's just a nice way, right? I think that's the nicest way to put it. Is just trying to find the best companies out of a group. So there was kind of a little bit of a voted off the island kind of vibe about it. At least the cohort that I went to. But other than that, it was pretty cool. I learned a lot. But the number one lesson I did learn was get traction before you start asking for money.
Yes.
The number one lesson. Get
Yes.
traction before you ask for money.
There's never enough traction. Get as much as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
Okay, Lee. What else? What else are we going to talk about today?
Revenue solves all your problems.
This
Like
is
you
true.
mentioned before, like people don't want to give you money when you need it. and they want to give you money when you don't need it.
Right. Right. It's weird like that.
And I mean, sales and revenue solves everything. And I'm pretty stoked that Pixie's at a place where we're starting to see our first renewals.
Okay.
So we've had all of our first big customers renew, which is super positive.
Okay. Awesome. And then I think you had some sales success today. Sign on a customer or two today.
I signed on 2 customers this week. I'm
Woo!
pretty proud of. One
Look at
is the USC LA Coliseum,
Oh.
which is
What?
like the most famous stadium in the world.
Oh, I've been there
right?
so many. You know, I
Yeah.
grew up near there.
Yeah, that's
I've been to so many. My brother-in-law used to play at USC, so I saw him. I've been to so many games and stuff.
yeah. So I'm super excited about that, and they see the value in what we do. So they're going to use it to document before events and after events.
Wow.
For damage or other things they needed to
Wow.
solve or bill or charge for. If they're having a monster truck jam with 50 tons of dirt, all the dirt comes in, all the dirt's got to go out, or any type of concert, things like that. And then the other new customer is a 3-year, really large development project in Utah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's interesting that when you tell me these things, it's like it just is fascinating to me because our approach is so much different, and we're still trying to get our self-service going because that's our ultimate. I mean, for any SaaS product, it has to be that kind of self-service, at least for us.
For sure.
Yes.
But leading up to that, Pixie needs to be self-service too. But right now I call every single person that downloads the app.
Wow.
And they're like, wow, you're calling me? You're the founder? I'm like, yeah, I care. I want to know what you're looking for and how we can help you.
Wow,
but
that's
that
amazing.
blows people's minds when you call them.
We can learn from that. Totally
For
learn
sure.
from that.
Definitely
Yeah.
early you need to call people because they're not downloading just one app. They're downloading 3, 4, 5, 10 apps. And if you don't get them right away, they'll forget. They're like, Bookable? Well, of course they're going to remember Bookable. But they're like, Pixie, what's Pixie do? And I have to tell them, like, oh, yeah.
I see.
But to scale, you need to automate and self-serve and do all that stuff. But that's like phase 2.
Well,
phase 3 maybe.
I don't know. I think this is true. We did onboard customers, and I think that's what we're trying to now do is just get it so that it's automated or the self-service aspect of it. It's actually difficult but easy and fun all at the same time. Like all this stuff is difficult, but it's like, oh, I'm learning so much. Like we just got Intercom. We switched from Help Scout. Help Scout was amazing, by the way. I think it was the easiest thing to just get going. Intercom has so many bells and whistles to it that it's kind of hard to know where to start unless you have some type of customer success strategy background. Yeah. So we're getting to learn that. We're like, oh, this is what customer success managers and leaders do, and it's interesting to kind of start to learn all that. And I think even the manual says, look, don't try to do everything. Just start small. Yeah. And we're just trying to just get the basics going, and then we can add tours and things like that. And then there's even like
in-app tours.
Yeah, in-app tours, things like that. There's a bot that can act as a sales agent and set that up. It can capture leads. It can do video. It can do announcements. So I don't know. I feel like, and they have a great startup plan. So that's what we did. We got on that, and we're just working our way through that. And the whole onboarding process, because onboarding is super important. And so we're getting all that together. And it's exciting. It's fun. It's an exciting time for us because we're we're just getting closer and closer to being able to just have someone, the day that someone can just come to the website, click, and then get their free trial, and then enter their credit card. It's just going to be I'm literally dreaming about it right now.
Yeah. So, you're really smart. You're laying all the foundation. The tech stack's there, Intercom's there, Stripe, whatever you're using for credit card processing.
Yeah, Stripe,
all that stuff is there. Now you just got to get stuff in the top of the funnel.
Yes, and that's where you come in, and that's why I'm so impressed.
Yeah. So I'm doing stuff top of the funnel while I'm trying to build the foundation.
I see that. That's so impressive, but you're signing people up.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So what was your whole strategy about this? How are you going about it? So if someone downloads the app, or are you cold calling people, or are you?
Both. So I did some growth hacking. So I made sure we had some positive reviews, and we showed up high in the search results in the app stores.
Okay.
So that's where we get most of our traffic is organic search.
Okay.
App store search, and I dabble in a little bit of paid search ads in the Apple Store and Google, and have had some great success. Put some more money into that. But as soon as somebody downloads the app, I have 2 things. I have a really big monitor that Dell gave me, which I had to talk about. Dell has an awesome startup program. They gave me an insane monitor. So on one screen, I have HubSpot, which I live in for CRM, and the other screen, I have Mixpanel. And so Mixpanel, I can see all of our users as they come in and what they're using and how often they're using it and frequency and all that stuff. And so I call them, and they also get an automated email and then a series of nurture emails. And then the challenge is most people sign up with a personal email. So, it could be Pat Lang at Gmail, but you might as well be Pat Lang at Ford. I don't know if you're at Ford or who, CBRE or whatever. So yeah, immediately phone call, follow up, and then I look for usage. And I focus my efforts on people that are using the app the most.
Wow.
But I need to build in intercom or something like that for in-app product tours.
Yeah, I mean,
so even though we've made it to be like super simple, requiring little to no training, they still need to see it. So onboarding is key. So my focus is like, hey, give me 10 minutes and I'll show you how you can save an hour a day.
For sure.
And that's how long my demo is, literally 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, doing in-person demos is exciting. In fact, I don't know if you see, we just got this big TV.
It's pretty big.
This humongous TV.
It's not big enough. It's too big.
So we can do our demos.
Nice.
Instead of everyone just crying around my laptop.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I really enjoy it. I think I just enjoy interacting with people a lot. So that's what makes it so fun. And so, yeah.
Well, you can have the best software in the world, but people, especially my customers, people buy from people that they like. And I mean, you're super likable. That goes without saying.
Okay, then
but
everyone
when people interact with you
Yeah.
and you're the product guy, so you're asking them like, what are you trying to solve?
Yeah.
What's your problem? What's causing you the most pain? You let them talk. Like, okay, great. Well, let me show you how we solve that for you. Right? It's not all about just like vomiting in their face about how great you are.
Yeah.
It's you got to get them to talk more and basically buy in on their own without selling to them.
Yeah.
And live in person is a game changer.
Yeah, and I love our social media team. They do such a good job. We're using Notion to manage the social media calendar, so I actually know what's going to get posted over the next 2 weeks. And and we outsource that. They're in, I should say, she's in Colombia, so that's really cool. And introduced her through a digital nomad. She was aspiring digital nomad. And then, so I met her through my other friend who is a digital nomad, Jenny, and she's amazing. She connected me. And so yeah, we have this wonderful social media person that just, oh man, I just am so thankful.
That's great. You can invest in office space.
Yes.
A social media person, intercom, the tools. Like I've been doing not the best job at our social media. I do it myself.
Well, but you do
But I
ads
try
and
to
you're
be
calling
consistent.
people.
Yeah.
You're doing, literally, when you post on LinkedIn, your posts on LinkedIn are like literally ads. Is that by design?
Yes.
Yeah, because you don't have to use LinkedIn Navigator or any of that kind of stuff. Your posts are like ads.
Yeah. Well, Canva is my friend.
Canva
Canva is an awesome tool. Designers hate it. I actually went to school for design, but I think Canva is a great tool.
Canva's cool. I mean, they just had a big announcement. They have all kinds of new features, editing tools, and all this kind of stuff. All right, Lee, let me ask you this. What are 5 things that you regret related to your start? Is there anything that you regret? Like either it's like, I just should not have done that. And it doesn't have to be about Pixley. I think we can open this up to just any type of advice. 5 things that you regret so that people don't make that same mistake.
A great, powerful question. I guess that's the main reason why we're here is to help founders not make the same mistakes. I would say do not go through your personal savings, get a job or find alternative funding somehow. Do not go through all your personal savings. Do not ignore the amount of time it takes to be a good husband or whatever your family needs, for sure. You can be a great founder, you can be a great dad, but you also have to be a great husband. Those are the 2 big ones for me. I'd say, what are my big regrets? Not starting soon enough. Not starting sooner, not raising enough capital, and not doing enough due diligence on development, engineering resources. I think I just have 3.
Okay, fine.
Now.
Okay, good. What do I regret? I think I regret not. The vision wasn't super clear when we started. It was during the pandemic. We were kind of just building and saying we're going to solve this company's problem or this organization's problem. But I feel like now the vision has kind of tapered and it's gotten a little clear. And I know you can't rush that process. I just regret not having that vision because I'm kind of in charge of the vision. It's kind of like my job. And so
Yeah, but your vision changes.
yeah,
too,
and
you
that's
know?
the thing. And I just regret not being able to like look clearly into that ball and just, crystal ball and just hit it. Because like the more that you're hyper focused on what you're chasing, the more likely you're going to get it. And it wasn't. It started off kind of like, well, let's help them. And it's like, oh, well, look, we can also help them. And next thing you know, it's kind of like, okay, we're just going with the flow. And to some degree, I regret that rather than just saying, look, we're definitely going this way. So we were kind of following the market, but even that was, to me, like I felt like it was in a little bit more of a ad hoc way, whereas just being like crystal focused and saying, I'm going to build this and I'm going to sell it to this person and I'm just going to, and that's what I'm going to do. So.
Well, I made that mistake too. I'm not sure it was a mistake, but my very first customer was from a very large insurance company, and that was not my core market.
Right.
And I was like, oh, wait, well, maybe we're going to do insurance tech. Maybe
Exactly.
that's a faster path.
Exactly.
And then it takes forever to sell an enterprise deal to an insurance company.
Right.
So that was a distraction.
Right. Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. We followed some bigger customers, and it's like, okay, man, we can do it. I think as a startup founder, that's what you do. You're just happy that someone wants your stuff. You're like, oh my gosh, someone wants this, so let's do it. And then you don't have, and it took my co-founder to kind of, after we made money, everything was cool, but then it took my co-founder to say, this is not what we said we were gonna do, and I was like, you're right. It took a while for me to like just say, you're right. This is not what we said we're going to do. I said, but don't you like having all this money? Don't you like having money? We're making money. It's a side hustle. You have a full-time job and you have a side hustle that's, what side hustle can pay your mortgage? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I think I kind of regret just not listening to him and just not listening to like being true to what we originally set out to do. I feel like now we're right dead on. We're doing exactly what we said we were going to do. We've got the right customers, the right product. We're hyper-focused. Everything has come together, like the studio, the product, the podcasting, like everything has just come together. But before it was just so disjointed, you know what I mean? And so, and then once we, took a step back and aligned to our original focus, then it's like, oh, everything just started lining up. So I think I just regret not just chasing money, I guess.
I'm trying to live a life of no regrets. Like everything that happened was supposed to happen, and that's why it happened. And like you can't sure, if I could go back in time, I'd change a bunch of things, but I can't.
Yeah.
So I was trying to do the best I can with what I have in front of me right now, and looking to the future. And it might shift and change a little bit, but we can't. Everybody has regrets.
Yeah.
But we're trying to tell people to avoid the regrets that we have by telling them what they could be before they happen.
All right. Well, cool. Well, I think that's our cue then.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Peace.
Peace.